What is up? Workbringer here, and today we're going to be looking at a Halls of Atonement run on my Protection Paladin. Now, we're only doing +5, so I'm about 193 right now, so this is a pretty chill run, but I'm into the chill run. It's a 5, so I'm feeling pretty confident. I shield both of those in the face. I think someone pulled Threat or got thrusted on. I think the Warrior there. And so this is a bit of an awkward roundup so far. I've got one stack of Bear Bleed on me, which you can see I'm like half health. But I pop Ardence immediately once I get everyone rounded up. And because I pre-marked the Houndmaster pretty early, people just blew her up. So that was lovely. You'll see that now I'm hyper aware of my Bear Bleed right there. I think it's like Jagged Swipe or something like that. When that gets high, those bears will eat you. And it might be all damage taken. I don't remember. But I double pulled that, which is like kind of bold for me, to be honest. I don't typically double pull that, but on a +5, I'm feeling kind of confident. So we pulled the Gargoyle, which is great. Our Warrior. Warrior is pretty consistently Venthyr, and I'm looking at like the Houndsmaster pack back there, and I want to make, use of the Gargoyle. And we melt those, and the Gargoyle is going to help us take care of, again, the Bear pack. So I'm showing my back to the bears. This is probably bad. You see that I have 2 stacks of Jagged Swipe, but our Loyal Stoneborn Gargoyle is doing some work. However, I am distracted, and we let. I say we. I really think it's my job when there's one Houndmaster. I should hodge that. Now, I recently talented into Blinding Light or whatever, which is like our AoE disorient, and I'm finding that to be rather useless. You can actually AoE disorient the Gargons. These, I call them bears, the doggos, but they're immediately back on it if anyone damages them. So Mythic Plus, I don't think that I'm going to be using Blinding Light. I'm going to go back to Fist of Justice. I like having Hodge like on demand, and that talent basically allows me to get Hodge back much faster. Basically, spending holy power, I get Hodge back, and Hodge is something that's very useful because it's like a stop. It's not just an interrupt; it's like a stun, right? So it stops gray bar casts, like the way that I have Plater set up. Um, cast bars that are yellow, cast bars that are yellow, I can interrupt with Avenger Shield or Rebuke, but gray ones can only be stopped with Hand of Justice. So I'm going to switch back to that. I don't like the AoE one. It's another cooldown I have to kind of manage as well, versus like just having the 2 major ones. I really like it. And what I need for this dungeon is a reliable Hodge to be back every time I pull a Gargon pack with a Houndmaster. I need to Hodge Loyal Beast, and my life is much easier. But I am tracking it now. As I'm getting destroyed by higher and higher keys, certain dots matter a lot more. Like on a normal, you wouldn't even know that the bears put a dot on you. Heroic, you wouldn't know. Mythic 0, you don't even know. Maybe even like +4 Halls of Atonement. You just wouldn't, you don't really notice it. It's not an issue. +5, 6, 7, 8. It's a huge deal. The bear dot, so I'm tracking it. Uh, I don't, I don't honestly like double pulling this. I'm still getting used to it. But I did a couple. I forget. I did like a higher key, and people were not happy that I wasn't pulling these together, right? And it is much more efficient to cleave this all down, for sure. It's just more stressful for me and probably the healer as well. But it makes sense. Like if you basically interrupt animate weapons, which is like gonna spawn ads from the caster that's right next to the Shard of Halkias here, which Halkias is a building. I'm fighting a cathedral or a small version, which is pretty funny. It's really this like thrash, this kind of like prideful AoE that's the most dangerous. But Resto Druid, got the stuff. I think I typed to everyone that I'm going the safe route. And this is also something new I've been doing with pugs, especially if there's a hunter. I used to jump down off that ledge, and a lot of people want to and preempt it. I have decided I don't like that. Now, not that I'm planning for wiping, but this is an even more straightforward if I wiped kind of route here. And I think as long as I gather these up together, that group there, some people grab that third pack as the front pull. I think that's a little. I'm not ready for that. We're unlucky with the patrol. I would rather have taken that Houndmaster actually at that point. We got a ranged interrupt. Amazing. Great. So we're rounding this up here, and this is okay. I could take the other Houndmaster, but then we risk having two Houndmasters in the pack. I will definitely take this patrol here, and then I'm just gonna take our Houndmaster. Usually it took me a little while to actually get them. Our warrior is on it. Very cool. Didn't have to call that, and he is going to let loose our vicious Gargon into the pack. So what I should be doing is sitting on the Depraved Houndmaster, but she just evaporates, so that's pretty good. I don't believe Loyal Beasts went off, and I'm feeling pretty good about it. I only got one stack of the bear. The bears are going to go down, and I'm like, hey, you bears, do you want to get eaten by my gargoyle? Yes, you do. So luckily, what I'm learning about now, and I'm going to be testing this in Plaguefall, is that if I just run away, I outrange them and they have to run to me. Versus before, I'm like, I need to silence them. Ooh, there goes Loyal Beast. Does it go off? It does. So 3 stacks of Loyal Beast, 3 stacks of Jagged Swipes plus Loyal Beast means I would get one shot. If they both auto attacked me, I'd probably be dead. So luckily, people are very helpful with the kiting here. Our healer looks like they need mana, and that's cool. I think this is a stop here. And so far, a pretty nice run. Pretty clean. The jumping down, there's a variable of how much stuff you pull. And those actual little ground keepers over there on the left, at higher keys like 8 and 9, those things bang. Those hurt. And it's silly. I think they just sit there and they like melee and do like a basic, but like those bang. So 4 of them together is actually kind of dangerous. And I know for Prideful, you actually have to pull packs of those together in the beginning. But while I'm on these little low keys, I'm just kind of avoiding them. So I'm doing the double pull. I mean, in Mythic Dungeon Tools does not consider this a double pull. The Mythic Dungeon Tools gets some stuff wrong, but overall an incredible tool. But there are some things wrong with it, with Plaguefall specifically. But still, like, incredibly helpful tool. Of course, I could never plan routes without it. But Mythic Dungeon Tools considers this one pull. You can do them separately. And when I was learning this place, I was very happy to do them separate. It's just that these like kind of this is still a low key, but like low key is 2 and 3. People really don't care and know what's going on. 5, 6, 7. I don't know. They're still a low key. It's a mid key, I guess. It's safe to say mid. If I consider 15 top, because I'm not sure how much I'm going to be going over 15 this season. We'll see if I get that good or I get a group that good, consistent group. But yeah, people want you to pull that together. So this is a little awkward here, this part, but when I did a run here where people were rushing me, which is fine, I get it. And again, this is why I've kind of amended this run. I'm losing aggro in a pack of 2. This is sad. And Deadly Thrust is bad. So that warrior probably hates me. Like he's getting hit by the Deadly Thrust. Deadly Thrust also on like a 9 or something like that will kill you. It's pretty bad. So you just gotta watch it. But when there's like 4 of them, it's kind of hard to tell sometimes that it's coming for you. Anyway, I'm like, get your thing, and I'm gonna do my dunk. So we're avenging, and boom, what are we gonna hit here? 20 as weak sauce, weak sauce. But anyway, I'm still pumping damage out here. Like look at the bar. Not that that matters, but it kind of does. Like you don't have to mitigate if you destroy, if you delete the ads. That only works in these lower keys. I don't delete ads that quick in 7s or 8s or anything like that. Those are still very, very hard for me. And there's the DPS, of course, catches up. I'm just given the like get in the circle thing because sometimes they don't. Sometimes I'll run right in and pull them. Like, so a lot of people won't pull the Gargons around them and clean up the room because of, momentum. And they just keep the ad right back where it spawned, and they keep it very tight because there's all these patrols that they didn't kill. I hate doing it that way. It's very confusing for me. Just too claustrophobic. Point being is if you did pull it like that and like you didn't pull him out forward and like all your healers are standing, the healer and range DPS are like standing where they should be, they're gonna get insta-feared and it's gonna be a wipe. So I just tell them it's a pug. I'm like, hey, like get in the circle, like get close to me. I'm sure they're all aware, but if I pulled him on his place, I kind of think the healer would have been stuck out. I'm not so sure. I'm trying to keep uptime here on this. +5 standing in the glass is not too bad. I could probably take like 5 ticks without having to like and I could just Word of Glory through it. But yeah, I'm trying to keep uptime, try to stay around 2k. I'm not quite hitting it. I didn't pop my DPS pot, I don't think. Actually, it's on cooldown, I don't know why. Maybe it shows a cooldown with my health stone, which I have potions and health stones and flasks and feasts and all the foods. I have all the try hard stuff going right now, even for like a +5. You should be able to see it at the top. I have the rune, got the food buff, which is minus haste, and I've got some like all my like DPS buffy food things equal about, I would say, like 5% damage, which is, I'll take it, but it's not a big deal. Turn to stone, we interrupt it, we have threat on this little pack together, everyone gets to very happily cleave it down, we're doing the thing. This is going very smoothly. But I haven't thought of the title for this video yet, but it's probably something along the lines that like we timed it, but the tank made a huge mistake. And that's actually been kind of the theme of my runs lately, is that I'll just, spoiler alert, I'm off by 1% or 2%. And every time it happens, I usually have a recording. I usually know why. I think I typed them. I'm like, this is a time to chill. Everyone have a chill, right? I'm like, I need to very surgically remove this guy, this slasher out of here. And it's very easy, very fragile to not pull the pack on the right or the left. That's very easy to screw up, let me tell you. And then on top of that, I've learned this. You stand on this statue here, because he'll do like this crazy slash that's a knockback. It's avoidable, but I just take it. But the knockback can actually push you into this garden and this powerful swipe. You can avoid that, but see, like I actually did it wrong because I tried to stay on the statue. If that could actually push you into the statue and then bug you out, and you can get stuck there, and they can't res you. And I did that on like a +7. It was really bad. Great timing here. As Pug Tank, I go stand on square. Everyone square, great. Everyone on purple. Everyone purple? Great. Because that too, if you straight line it, you will pull the middle. We could probably recover, but it's going to blast all the cooldowns. I need the cooldowns for this fight sometimes. Now, I forget if people do the mechanic. And if you don't know the mechanic, I don't do it because I'm the tank. What we're going to do is we're going to not tank it right on top of that blood. Of course, that's going to hurt. Stone Call. All these gargoyles come out. They're casters, so you have to like do the omega stuns to get them here. There's one left over there. I am going to shield it and get over here, buddy. I don't think we got it, actually. But we killed them, and they turn into stone. They're not dead. And you have to drop that big leap on them to final kill them. So you know you're in for a bad time in a group. I almost never explain that. It's too hard to explain. Either the group knows it or they don't. It's bad news when people are like, oh, I got targeted, I'm gonna go run out, because that's normally what you have to do. But the damage from it is actually very low. I just maybe on hierarchies it's bad, but like I don't even get out. I'm like, drop it on me, baby. Like it's not gonna hurt. Like kill these ads. Where it hurts. Now we're gonna burn this boss down, so I'm not so afraid. But if he was like 15%, I'm like, I gotta go gather up all these ads. Like, look at my health though. Like, I gotta gather all these ads plus the other ads. That's when it gets bad. Now this room is my worst nightmare, and I take the time. I'm like, I don't forget if I say, if we're on voice comms, which I'm doing way more voice comms pulls, I'm like, listen, you need to interrupt, stun these two, or I'm going to die. And even if you do stun them, and Loyal Beast doesn't go off, or you burn, okay, I think it just goes off. I think that's going off. Yeah, okay, someone blasted back. That looked like a typhoon. I'm still, trying to keep threat. As long as I keep threat on these, are okay. I think one of them got blown up. That looks like it's going off. Yeah, and I'm like, I didn't want to run in, and I wiped on this, but I've wiped on this room on a hierarchy. I think it was a 7 or something like that. I was gonna run in and hodge, but if I ran in, didn't hodge, they got big, and I'm getting auto attacked, I would be dead, and I've had that happen. So I'm very cautious about this room. It's very much about the utility of what they can bring. So the way that I do this pull now, not that it's unique, is that I bring everything in here. I think I typed stay in here. People don't, they kind of get it. It's a little awkward, but this, I used to pull it into that room, but that gets bad. This LOS is kind of odd. I don't fully understand it yet, but I shield these ones. They start casting the fire through the wall, and it takes a long time for those other ones to get there, but this is pretty clean. In the room, we gotta stop collect sins. I got that one. Holler. Wicked Bolt is bait. You're not supposed to actually. I mean, it helps, but you don't have to. Anyway, we melt this like no big deal. But this room can go wrong. I've ruined pulls. I've ruined runs in that room. We have a Venthyr today, so we get to just take one. You can take both actually, but I don't find that we need that yet. Maybe at like a 10, you're gonna the higher keys is like yeah we got burn. Otherwise, if there's no Venthyr, I put raid markers down on how to walk through that room without pulling the gargoyle because it's actually very easy to butt pull them. I know that because I have done it. So I'm into Mythic Dungeon Tools. I remember when I first discovered that, I was like, wow, that's so tryhard. That is so much work to plan the routes. But now that's what I do. I'm at that level, so I feel good about it. I'm not planning pridefuls yet, but I'm planning just how do I get count? How do we minimize the ads that suck? How do you make a safe route for a pug? What do I like doing? What are the strengths of the kind of tank class that I play? What can I tank? What do I do not want to tank? Like I don't want to tank bears too much. I've been using it. So I want to talk about the reason. Again, spoiler alert, I got the fixation. I'm not sure I chose the closest one, so I can't grief in the poor druid. I'm going to talk about why this run I was short by 2%, which we will see. It is because of covenants, and it's my job to remember the difference between running this with a Venthyr who takes the gargoyle and is lovely. It makes the run much, much faster. Like we are killing this timer, killing it. And a lot of that is the gargoyle. It's just you don't have to be as delicate and you get a DPS buff. It's incredible. However, when you do not kill the gargoyle, because I kill at least one gargoyle in my route, if you don't kill it, you don't get the count. So I believe I was off by however much percent. I believe I'm off by one gargoyle. I believe. Now I just did a Plaguefall 7 where we wiped once and we didn't get it, right? We still finished it. It was a guild group, really cool on voice comms. People are like, I think they're mostly raiders, so they probably just only care about raiding. Like, like timing mythics is like cool, but like I don't think they care that much on like a pug. But we finished it, and it was still a pretty clean run. We just didn't finish it, and on that run, I was 2% short. We didn't time it, so I was like, okay, whatever. Let's just go clean up. 2% short, and on this run, I was 2% short. So that stuff is like haunting, right? Plaguefall actually, I believe Mythic Dungeon Tools was off. I want to take responsibility when I need to, which is almost always for learning to tank stuff like this. Like this is pretty difficult on multiple levels, from social level and mechanics and whatever. But like Mythic Dungeon Tools, I think for Plaguefall the count is actually off when you are adding everyone up. This one I don't think it's off. I think I was supposed to kill one gargoyle, and instead of killing it, we brought it with us. Is what happened. And I need to remember that. And guess how you remind yourself to remember that? You do this. It would be the absolute tragedy if like we didn't time it, but we were on the road for like 3 chesting this because like this was a flawless run. This has been fine. I even did some double pulls. I didn't triple pull. That might there were no butt pull. It was all very clean. It's been all the things like this is the accumulation of all the things I've learned about this place, how to play it safe. Again, for like a 7 or 9, where it's like if you mess it up at all, I'm one shot and dead. So we're pumping it, but tragedy strikes, and we'll see how much I'm short. But anyway, that isn't gonna hit me. It is pretty tricky to look at that, see where it's coming, and like that one looks like it's gonna hit me. I think it does. No, that's the blast. Anyway, he points at the statue. Then you gotta look at the statue. Where's it facing? Is it you? And by the time you've made that decision to move or not, you gotta make it quick. And I get hit by that. If that's coming for me, I'm getting hit. I'm lining up the woe. I realized that it's not always the quadrants. I started marking this a while back, and I was completely taken by surprise by how it actually is. Clearly, he just points the woe towards this statue. I don't know why I didn't know that. I think I divine shielded that. Is that what happened? I do that now to be cheeky because it's like I don't need it anymore. I'll just keep DPSing up, which is my DPS is sad at the moment. It's not good, like 1.4. I try to get 2, but I need to pay attention Like I need to have full uptime and avenging to keep 2k TPS. But to do that, like I use Divine Shield and I don't get hit by any of that stuff. And what did we short by? 4. Okay, 4 is a lot. And we're all looking at them like, oh, F my life. We're all trying to loot. I'm trying to loot it, and I'm like, huh? Because I usually take a screenshot because that's the kind of person I am. Every single time we finish, and then I look at the count and it's 4, and it's like, that's not what you want on a pug, right? Like, I think if it's a friendly group, you're like, oh, I'm still learning the route, and I mean, I've had this happen, unfortunately, several times recently. I'm like, I'm still learning the route, blah blah blah. So our Venthyr takes this gargoyle. I wanted to kill it for count, of course. I don't know how much gargoyles are, but I was like, okay, so that's not great. That like, I guess we're gonna use it to DPS them. So I'm auto running and I'm typing, we're killing these gargoyles downstairs. Um, so this sucks. Now again, we're 10 minutes to get 4%. I don't think anyone's really worried. Um, but it's bad. It feels bad. And I feel embarrassed, but I'm like, let's just salvage though, right? Like this gargoyle plus these two, we're hoping this is 4, and let's not wipe. Let's not pull everything in the room. Though honestly, all you have to do is get the count, and then everything de-aggroes, which I've been learning the hard way because we keep going back and finishing. A little bit of bursting there, and yeah, 4% off is bad. Now, it's hard to test this stuff without other people. There we go. Plus, we still +2 it, having to backtrack. What a fail on my part. Um, but this is the responsibility of tanking. Tanking Mythic Plus, and I find it challenging in multiple ways, and that's why I like it. Now, am I good at it yet? I wouldn't say that, but I hope I have the habits and kind of like grit to just get through. You know, these people don't know who I am, obviously, but like publicly failing a lot, especially at the hierarchies, and it's like it could be like, oh, you thought like you had to pull this mob from this angle. No, it's actually from this angle. If you don't do it from that angle, we wipe, we don't finish. And there's just so many little things like that that you only learn kind of by effing them up. And then there's this scaling increased difficulty that like, oh yeah, I know how to Halls of Atonement 5. Then you do Halls of Atonement 8. Spoiler alert, we don't even try to finish it. Like it just because of these little things. And then it's like people just know, like after like 2 wipes or something, it's like we're not finishing. So it's a tricky thing, but I like it. It's like my little personal sport. I'm having quite fun with it, and because I'm a bad boy at tanking, I get nothing. It's only a Halls 5 though. I don't really need. I mean, there's some slots I need from it, but like really, I need that. I need that +7 gear. Anyway, get your count right. This is the only way that you learn how to get the count right. We still 2-time it, but yeah, getting count, it's a thing. See you next time.